Hey there, sixth grade. This next video is a continuation of what we learned in the last video, dividing with fractions. And in this video, we're going to work with some problems that involve dividing by fractions. So the general rule of dividing fractions is what we talked about in the last video. To divide by a fraction, you need to multiply by the reciprocal. Okay, multiply by a fraction's reciprocal. And so again, we have that phrase that I mentioned in the last video that says, don't you fret, don't you cry, flip, which means get the reciprocal of the one you're dividing by. And so that's really important there to remember. It's the one you're dividing by, which means it's the second fraction in a fraction division problem. That is the fraction that we flip. So we're going to try this now on several examples. Starting with number 1 here, we have the whole number 6 divided by 3/4. So remember, whole numbers we always write as improper fractions by putting them over 1. So this is 6 over 1 divided by 3/4. And then when we go to our next line to recopy this, the first fraction, which in this case is 6 over 1, we just recopy as it is. We change our division sign to multiplication, and then we flip 3/4 to its reciprocal, which is 4/3. So this becomes the multiplication problem 6/4 or 6 over 1 times 4/3. So we multiply our numerators together, 6 times 4, and our denominators 1 times 3, and we see that we can cancel our 6 and our 3 here by dividing by 3. This becomes a 2 and a 1. So we get 2 times 4, which is 8, over 1 times 1, which is 1. 8 over 1 is equal to 8. Okay, number 2. 8 divided by 5/6. 8 is a whole number, so I'm going to make that 8 over 1. So this is 8 over 1. I make my division symbol multiplication, and then I flip my second fraction. 5/6 becomes the reciprocal 6/5. So 8 over 1 times 6 over 5. I can't do any canceling in this problem, so I'm just going to multiply straight across. 8 times 6 is 48, and 1 times 5 is 5. So we have the improper fraction 48/5. I'm going to make that now a mixed number. 5 will go into 48 9 whole times, and then we get a remainder of 3. So this becomes the mixed number 9 3/5. Okay, number 3, 3/4 divided by 2/3. So I keep the first fraction. I change division to multiplication, and then I flip 2/3 to 3/2. So it's keep, change, change, keep, change, change every single time. So this becomes 3 times 3 over 4 times 2. Can't do any canceling, so we get 9 over 8. As a mixed number, 8 goes into 9 one whole time, so this becomes 1 1/8. Number 4, 7/8 divided by 1/4. Keep, change, change. So this becomes 7/8 times 4 over 1. So we have 7 times 4 over 8 times 1. Here we can cancel the 4 and the 8. 4 and 8 are both divisible by 4, and so we get a 1 and a 2 in their place. 7 times 1 is 7, and 2 times 1 is 2, so we have the improper fraction 7/2. 2 goes into 7 3 whole times, and we get a remainder of 1. So this becomes 3 1/2. Okay, what I'm going to do now is pause the video, and I want you to try 5 and 6 all on your own. Once you have answers for both of those, please click play to check your answers. Okay, so for number 5, you should have had the mixed number 1 1/4. We flip 2/3 to 3 halves and we multiply 5/6 times 3 halves. We can cancel there to get the improper fraction 5/4, and that becomes the mixed number 1 1/4. Number 6, we flip 3/5 to its reciprocal 5/3. We can cancel the 5 and the 10 as well as the 3's, and so we end up getting just 1/2 for our answer there. Please make sure your work matches mine and that you have all of these steps included on your notes, because these are the steps that your teachers are going to want to see on your assignments. Okay, on the back side, we have one word problem that we're going to look at, and this says that Mr. Gomez used 1/3 cup of oil each time he cleans his car's engine. How many times can he clean his car's engine if he has 3/4 of a cup left? Okay, so where a lot of students have trouble with fraction word problems is, number one, what operation to use, and number two, what order to do that operation. Because we're working on fraction division right now, you might guess that this would be a division problem. Okay, but the question is, what do I divide by? What order do I divide? Because I could do 1/3 divided by 3/4, or I could do 3/4 divided by 1/3. And those are going to give me different answers. So which is the correct setup for this problem? Well, I think a really good way to approach any type of word problem is to replace your numbers with numbers that are easier to work with. So in this case, instead of having fractions here, I'm going to temporarily replace these fractions with whole numbers. Okay, so imagine, if you will, you don't have to write this on your notes, but imagine that we made 1/3 3, and we made 3/4 6. 1/3 is smaller than 3/4, so I'm making 1/3 a number smaller than this number here. So let's replace these with whole numbers, 3 and 6. And now let's read the problem. Mr. Gomez used 3 cups of oil each time he cleans his car's engine. How many times can he clean his car's engine if he has 6 cups left? Well, if he has 6 cups left and he uses 3 cups each time, well, that means he can change his oil or clean his engine 2 times. We take the total amount of cups he has, 6, and we divide it by the number of cups he uses each time, 3, okay, to get that answer of 2. Well, we're going to use the same order to do this problem, except we need to use the actual original numbers. So instead of a 6, we had 3/4, and instead of a 1/3, we had 3. So that's how I want you to approach your word problems when you're not sure how to set it up. Replace your difficult numbers with easier numbers to figure out what operation and what order to do that in, and then you can use the actual numbers. Okay, so for our problem, we're going to do 3/4, that's the total he has still, divided by 1/3, which is the amount he uses for one oil change. So total divided by, this is the part he uses for one oil change. Okay, so fraction division, we keep change, change, so this becomes 3/4 times the reciprocal of 1/3 is 3/1. So this will be 3 times 3 divided by 4 times 1. 3 times 3 is 9, and 4 times 1 is 4. So we get 9/4, which we want to change to a mixed number. As a mixed number, this would become 2 1/4. Okay, so we would say that Mr. Gomez can clean his car's engine How many times would we say he could clean his car's engine? Well, you can't really clean an engine 1/4 times, okay? So this is a problem where, because of the context of the problem, because we're giving the number of times he can clean his car's engine, we would need to round this answer. So if he only has, if he can only clean it 2 1/4 times, really he can only clean it 2 times. It means that he can clean it 2 times, but not 3, because 2 1/4 is between 2 and 3. So for our answer for this problem, we would say 2 times. Okay, if you had any questions over this video, make sure you have those written down, and Until we see you again, folks, have a nice day. You're all wonderful people. Take care.